Hey everyone, what's going on? Zach here. Welcome back to another video. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. So for Christmas, I got a new Xbox and I got an adaptive setup that will allow me to play video games. So before my accident, I actually played a lot of video games. I was a gamer. I loved doing that. And then when my accident happened, I lost the function in my hands and I could no longer perform as well as I used to. And I was very competitive, so if I couldn't play really good, I didn't want to play at all. And so a few years ago, Xbox actually came out with this adaptive controller, and I knew about it but didn't really want to try gaming at that time. And now with COVID and being on break, I thought it'd be kind of cool to try to get back into playing video games and see if it was something I can do. So for Christmas, I got a new Xbox, I got the adaptive controller, and I got some accessories that go for the controller. So I want to show you everything I have, and then I'm gonna show my gaming setup. So the first thing I got is the Xbox adaptive controller. And the great thing about this controller is that it doesn't work only with Xbox. It'll work on a computer and also on a PlayStation. So if you don't have an Xbox, that's okay. You can still get this controller and it will work for whatever PlayStation or PC you have. The second thing I got that I needed was this adaptive gaming kit, which has different size buttons that you plug into the adaptive controller that you can position wherever you want, and they're very easy to click, so there's no strength required. So basically, those are only the three things I need. Just a console of some type, the Xbox adaptive controller, and for me, adding the adaptive gaming kit. So now I'm gonna show you my actual setup and how I'm able to play the games. Okay, so this is my personal adaptive gaming setup. What I have here is the Xbox adaptive controller, this big white thing, and I only needed to use two of the adaptive gaming kit pieces, I guess you could say. So I have this clicker right here and this one, and then I have the Xbox controller. So what I put all this on is, this is basically just like a wood board that I set all my controllers on, and then I Velcroed the controllers to the board. So if I'm playing, they're not gonna move around, or if I have a spasm, they're not gonna slide off my lap and break. And putting Velcro to hold them down in place has really helped me a lot. So the great thing about the Xbox adaptive controller is they have all these little outlets in the front of it. And these outlets are all the controls on the actual Xbox right here. So X, Y, B, A, all the triggers, they're all right here. So I could plug in this clicker right here into my trigger finger, because it's harder for me to use the trigger. So instead of having to use the trigger on the remote, I just hit this and that'll be trigger for me. So the way I have mine set up, I like to play first-person shooter games. So that's what my setup is for. It's kind of hard because if I'm gonna play a different game, I kind of have to switch the controls around. So for now, because everything's new, I'm just sticking to kind of one game and I have my setup. So what I'm able to do is rest my hands on the joysticks of the actual Xbox controller, and I'm able to move, and that's how I can move around. And one thing I added onto my joystick, the joysticks are these little grippings that kind of stick up, and it's kind of rubber gripping, so it's easier for me to keep my hands on, and it helps a lot. That's definitely something I would need. You can get them on Amazon, they're really cheap. So then for me, this is how I move. And in order for me to aim, I hold this button down with my pinky finger when I'm playing. So while I'm moving, I can hit that while I'm playing and it will aim for me. In order to shoot, that was kind of hard for me to figure out until I just decided to plug in this little clicker into the RT button, which is for shooting. And this one I actually put in my mouth. I couldn't really figure out another way for me to shoot because it's a button you have to click kind of fast repeatedly. And so, my hands can't react fast enough if I were to put shooting as this button. So this, when I play, I put it in my mouth like this, and then I just bite down to shoot, which actually works really well. It does get a little annoying while playing, but so far that's the best setup I have found for my situation. There are also other adaptive controllers out there. There's one called a quad stick, which you actually play through sip and puff just using your mouth. The reason I didn't get that is just because it's more expensive and I wanted to see if I could play with this setup, which is cheaper, but maybe I'll upgrade in the future to that because I've watched some videos and it looks super easy. You basically do everything from your mouth, so that's awesome. But yeah, so that's basically my setup. I didn't have to modify a whole lot of the controls. Just aiming and shooting is what I used for these buttons. And I don't really use the adaptive controller buttons. This button I did change to reload because sometimes it's hard for me to hit the X button. So if I'm playing, I can just hit that really quick to reload. But now I'm gonna turn on the Xbox and go into a game and show you some live gameplay. One of the things I really like about the Xbox is when I turn the controller on, it actually turns the console on for me. So I don't always have to go up to the actual Xbox to turn it on. Where I'm sitting, I can just push the Xbox button on the controller, and then it turns on the adaptive controller, and then it turns on the Xbox. So I just thought that's something cool. I'm able to turn on and off the Xbox all on my own. So then we'll sign in. And so I'm gonna play Call of Duty. That's the game that I really wanted to get good at and what I'm trying to practice on all the time. So I'm gonna load it up and get into a live game.
Domination. Taking A. Take the objectives. Taking Bravo. Right down. Enemy is Charlie.
Throwing stun.
Securing Bravo.
There we go.
Nice.
Regretta.
Bravo locked down.
There we go. Oh, he's laying down.
Losing Bravo.
Ooh.
Stun grenade out. One bomb.
Oh.
Throwing stun.
Enemy napalm strike incoming. Multiple hostile sentry turrets working.
Stun grenade out.
Come on, come on.
Grenade.
go. Oh my gosh, look at that. 200 to 199. That was close. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope I did a decent job explaining my setup and what this Xbox adaptive controller can do. If you have any type of disability out there, it doesn't have to just be spinal cord injury related, but this controller can really make a difference, and I think can help a lot of people get back into gaming that didn't think they ever could. I know that's how I feel, so I'm super excited. I love that Microsoft Xbox makes something like this because it brings you back to my old childhood days playing video games. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments below. I'm going to continue to do some gaming and then get this video uploaded a little later. But again, I hope everyone is staying safe, and I hope you all have a happy new year.